DEI consultancy group NNE Saga, as well as senior editor Alyssa Mercanti at Kotaku, have called for a blacklisting and banning of Mark Kern from the video game industry. Before we get into this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. I wrote this up over at thatparkplace.com, and all of this comes in the wake of Kern posting this post on X, showing a number of screenshots from Liana Rupert, who was a former community manager of Destiny 2 and is the current community manager for Amazon Prime Video's Fallout television series. No idea exactly why a television series needs a community manager, but that's who she is working for right now. And then obviously shared a bunch of screenshots talking about things she said in the past. And we'll go over a couple of them here. I do think some of them probably don't deserve to be on here, but I did find some other ones that probably should have been on there. So this is probably, I think, one of the biggest ones here. Back in 2021, she was basically defending Christina Ariel, a Star Wars host, after she basically was generalizing all these kinds of racist comments towards white people. And so Liana Rupert was defending Christina Ariel. I'm not going to get into all of that. I think that's way too much to get into, but I've covered that when this happened. But anyways, this is what she said. Don't be effing disgusting. Christina is incredibly talented. She's at Star Wars because she's earned this. And we as white people need to stop taking the race talk as a personal attack and instead as the lesson it is on how to do better when we historically haven't. So obviously, Christina Ariel was sharing a number of posts that she claims to have received. After I did a report when I was back at Bounding into Comics exposing her disgusting behavior. Obviously, I think some of this stuff is wrong as well and shouldn't be done. I wrote a whole article up on that two wrongs don't make a right, but we're not going to get into that. So in response to a user who called out Ariel's hypocrisy in response to Rupert's initial post right there, Rupert said this: fundamentally, people of color can't be racist against white people. They can have bias, but racism is systematic. And in the U.S., the system benefits the white community and has been since we established ourselves at the start of our country's history. So that's absolutely fundamentally wrong. That is it's just what do they even call that now? Critical race theory, I think. That is literally critical race theory education and thinking. It's just absolutely, utterly ridiculous. You can be racist towards white people. You can be racist towards anyone based on their skin color. That is the definition of the word. So you can see kind of where her mind is at here. And then later in the same thread, and also shared by Kern, she asserted that the broader community of white people is racist. This is what she wrote. She says, "You're taking it personally. As per my original post, I need to stop. When POC say white people, they are saying the broader community that is still very much inherently racist. You don't get to dictate that. Neither do I as white people. Sorry, that's not up for debate." So she's claiming that the broader community of white people are inherently racist. I mean, this is what she is saying. And then in another post also shared by Kern, she reacted to an individual asking to be removed from an email list that promoted diversity in games. And she says, sounds about white, clearly being prejudiced towards or making an assumption that the person sending that email is white and obviously being prejudiced towards them based on their skin color. Just absolutely atrocious comments. And again, this is 2020, 2021. So not that far ago. Obviously, she could have changed her opinions, but I have not seen any kind of apology from her. We're not going to get into that here, but it did. When I was looking at it, it looked like she was kind of doubling down and saying like that he was taking things out of context. Well, we've got the context here, and doesn't look like they're taken out of context. So this is something that was not included in Kern's original post. She basically provides instructions for rioters back in 2020. She says, make sure not to wear distinctive clothing, keep a hood on, all black if possible, gloves as well. Tear gas is hot, so if you have to toss back, do it safely, be safe out there. So I think that's very clear that this is kind of instructions for rioters when the police are trying to break you up because you're probably indeed rioting. You're not peacefully protesting. She goes on and says, don't wear baggy clothing if you have to run. I made that mistake once during a protest and got netted through a fence. It hurt. Don't use names. Be aware of camera and keep your face pointed away. Don't talk to anyone you don't know about personal details. If you must bring a cell online, turn the location settings off and keep it in airplane mode. Bring a charger in a black, non-decrepit backpack. Tell people you trust where you will be ahead of time. Keep them posted. Bring snacks. It's going to be a long day. Hydrate. Don't go anywhere with someone you don't know, especially into seclusion. Reporters are there for a job. Don't speak with them. Don't give anyone your power of or your identity. Don't give up. We are with you. And then she wrote this. One more thing. If you are white participating in protests, good. But do not use your safety rooted in privilege to put those around you in harm's way. And do not speak over POC. Be a part of their voice, but do not take their voice away, no matter your good intentions. So obviously making distinctions based on people's race. So this is where we see the people making these calls to blacklist and ban Mark Kern. First, it was Kotaku senior editor Alyssa Mercanti. She wrote this. The absolute toenail is trying to sick any of his followers on women, POCs, queer folks in the industry. Every single person in a position of power should be speaking out against this with their entire chest. Ban this man from events. Support your employees, period. So obviously, Alyssa Mercanti clearly showing that she is in favor of what these people are saying and is trying to attack Mark Kern and get him banned for bringing a public spotlight on what these people think and what they have said in the past and how they have infested the video game industry. And there's a reason why video games suck now is because these people and their ideology have tainted all of these video games. So there you go. She's calling for him to be banned. She wants him silenced. She does not want this evil agenda have a spotlight put on it. That's exactly why they are doing this. It's all about them knowing that what they are doing is wrong. They know what they're doing is evil, and they don't want it to be exposed. So they have to silence their opponents in order to ensure that what they are doing can continue to happen in the darkness, because they know indeed that they're evil. If they were doing something good and just and right, they wouldn't have any problems doing it in the public. They would be like, yes, this is what we are doing. This is good and right. They wouldn't have any problems dealing with any of this stuff. But they are literally trying to get people banned, blacklisted from the video game industry. And it wasn't just Alyssa Mercanti. We have this DEI consultancy organization called NNE Saga as well. They reacted to Mercanti's post writing this. He needs to be blacklisted because this has gone way too far. So NNE Saga is indeed a DEI consultancy. This is what they write on their website. They note that it was founded by Stephanie Ijoma in 2015 because she saw, quote, a dire need for change in the games and entertainment space. It also adds right here, our fundamental values ensure that we prioritize diversity, inclusion, representation, and equity in the pillars we dominate, whilst continuing to create safe spaces and shifting the narratives. NNE Saga is an influential force that has created impact beyond gaming and more across many verticals. So this is a company that is obviously doing this shady stuff within the shadows, trying to fundamentally change video games. And they want their opponents, their critics, banned and blacklisted from exposing them. I don't think that is going to work. It looks like Kern is having more and more actual video game developers messaging him, acting as sources, putting a spotlight on what these organizations and what these video game studios have done to ruin video games. But let me know what you guys make of these people trying to get Mark Kern banned and blacklisted. I think it is going to absolutely backfire on them. The more these companies expose themselves, the more people are going to reject the games that they are creating. Because there is a plethora of video games out there that people have not played that are probably a lot better than what is currently being created right now. There's so many back catalogs of games, and I honestly think that is one of the reasons why the Nintendo Switch is doing so well, because it has done such a great job of having that back catalog of games. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, but to always speak the truth.